Where do I even start with Cody the human pity party? Seriously, this guy needs to get a grip and mind his own business. Are we really doing this? Is he jealous that his cousin's pregnant? Really? How gross. Just get over it already. We all know the writers are setting up this whole Molly saves Cody's soul thing, so let's just fast forward to it and spare us the endless self-deprecating routine. It's getting old fast. And seriously, where are Kay's parents? How is he handling his injury and recovery all alone? I'm not saying he should be babied, but some guidance wouldn't hurt. Cody's becoming unbearable, honestly. I really hope they pair him with someone soon, just so he can stop being so obnoxious. It's kind of ruining the show for me. Speaking of ruining things, could we please send Lulu back into a coma and send Drew anywhere but Port Charles? Let's talk about Lulu for a sec. Her storyline is an absolute disaster. She ran from the hospital to escape Cyrus, but has never once mentioned him since. First, she's got this bizarre plot with Charlotte, then it's Dante. There's been zero explanation of why or how she escaped, instead of just waking up and going home with her family. Oh, and where is she living now? Is she just chilling in some dull, foggy new set that looks like a green screen from a low-budget horror film? As soon as Brooklyn moved into Comfort Dant, I knew Lulu was going to walk in. Tracy must have thought it was a brilliant idea to have these two work together, because what could possibly go wrong with that combo? And then, shocker of the day, Cody somehow knows that Brooklyn's pregnant and that Dante's the father. Guess he can keep a secret after all. And Lulu, she's honestly the most self-absorbed moaner. No real interaction with Rocco, but she can't stop talking about Charlotte, who, by the way, she completely forgot about for at least a week after she woke up. Now she's back in love with Dante? Somebody medicate her, please. Let's not even talk about Trina and the quarterback. They are a complete snooze fest. And Cody? He's just a walking, self-destructive mess. Let's just send him off into the sunset and call it a day. Honestly, GH writers, pull it together. You're quickly becoming the reason people are setting alarms for their naps. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. So it's looking like Rick might finally figure out Sonny's got a heart issue and use that to his advantage, or maybe Sonny will just collapse mid-testimony and have a heart attack in court. Either way, it's bound to be dramatic. And Drew, shouldn't he be in Washington by now? I mean, he's a congressman, but you'd never know it. Just like he's totally invisible in his own storyline. Wait, now Lulu's feeling something for Dante. Really? Why don't we just send her off looking for Charlotte again, so she can disappear for another 4 years? Honestly, I'm not sure who's worse, her irksome voice or the fact she can't seem to remember she has another child she's totally ignoring. Trina and Kai? Says, boring. Cody? Please. He needs to snap out of it and stop acting like a teenager. And Lulu thinking Dante will ever want to get back together with her. Delusional. He deserves so much better than her spoiled, self-centered self. And let's talk about Dant. Every time he looks at Lulu, he's probably reminded of Sam's death. You can't tell me that doesn't mess with him, and Lulu's gonna feel that. She should just leave him alone. Getting back together would be a disaster. It's like he's blaming her. It's a no-go. Remember when Cody showed up and somehow knew who Brooklyn was? I swear, that was never mentioned until the whole camp thing came up. Am I losing it, or did that come out of nowhere? Oh, and Drew? Yeah, still not in Washington. Too busy being MIA for the actual job he's supposed to have. And Lulu? She's never with her son. But hey, she's all about her daughter, right? It's almost like the kid doesn't exist. It's honestly ridiculous. She needs to go. I so miss the real Drew, the one played by Billy Miller. That Drew was a character you could root for, charming, conflicted, and layered. Now, forget it. This version of Drew is a joke. Billy Miller's Drew is gone, and it's like the writers have decided to just let this new Drew spiral into utter trash. Rip Billy, because this Drew is the absolute worst. And as for Curtis saying he steps ahead of Drew, go Curtis. Please, don't let whatever plan he's cooking up backfire. We need someone to outsmart Drew, because right now, Drew's only good at ruining everything he touches. I feel for Dante, I really do. First, he loses Sam, and on top of that, I'm convinced he's battling his PTSD again. Poor guy can't catch a break. As for Cody, what's his deal? The moment he sees Jason and Sasha together, he jumps to conclusions and runs off to Anna like he's Sherlock Holmes. Classic move, Cody, but that was a bit much. Jason's going to step up for Sasha, of course, and pretend he's the baby's father to protect her secret. Typical Jason, always the hero, no matter what. But back to Drew. What happened to this guy? Honestly, I'm thinking the writers must have put him under some kind of mind control, or maybe he's got a brain tumor. I mean, what other explanation is there for this atrocious behavior? It's almost like they took a perfectly good character and threw him in the trash. There's no redemption for this mess. And then there's Kai and Trina. Yawn. I don't know if it's the writing or the chemistry, but I'm just not buying it. They're boring, and I honestly wish they'd bring Spencer back. I mean, Trina and Spencer were a thing, right? Why ruin that for a dull forced storyline? Speaking of wasted storylines, am I the only one who sees the parallels to that old Digitalist plot from years ago? The one where they supposedly killed off AJ. They did the same thing with Jason and Michael's storyline. Are we seriously recycling the same tired plot lines? At this point, I'd rather have AJ back than sit through more of this recycled nonsense. Ugh. And Drew? Just, ugh. He's gone from being a character with promise to an absolute disgrace. Thanks, writers. You've completely ruined him. What a shocker. Curtis actually stood his ground with Drew. But is it really Drew? I mean, did that prison beating mess with his head? Or did they swap the real Drew with this one? Because the way everyone's acting, they might be angry at the wrong person. Honestly, Drew, Trina, Kai, Lulu, Christina, can they be more dull or obnoxious? Jordan's hanging in the middle, barely hanging on. Oh, and can we talk about Brad for a second? Seriously, writers, enough already. He's so annoying. And Cody? Wow, he's lost it. He was actually getting somewhere. And now he's spreading the rumor that Jason's the father of Sasha's baby? Yeah, that's gonna end well. And don't even get me started on Brooklyn's wardrobe choices. Did she tell them when she signed on that she refuses to show any skin? Every blouse she wears is buttoned up to her chin, even in a rare love scene with Chase. She's fully dressed in a tank top while he's topless. Classic Brooklyn move. Speaking of secrets, you really think Cody's going to keep Brooklyn's secret? He blabbed about Sasha's secret to anyone who'd listen. And you know Brooklyn's already plotting how to talk Sasha into handing over that baby, right? Oh, you can see the gears turning in her head. Then there's Chase. Poor guy's mourning his fertility issues and inability to have a kid, while Brooklyn's off obsessing over the baby she gave up. Real classy move. Is Natalia the one after Sunny? It seems like she showed up just after finding out about Blaze and Christina crashed their relationship, and now she's cozying up to Sunny. And those hits started right around then, too. Suspicious much? As for this whole Sasha baby drama, watching it unfold, it's so clear. Everyone's going to think it's Jason's because of Cody's big mouth. So Jason will step up and say it's his. That way, Willow won't know Michael cheated and won't be able to use it in court. Oh, this is just getting better by the minute. So Sasha keeps going on about how dangerous the Corinthos are. But hello, her mom is basically a walking disaster too. Like, does she not realize she's basically the same thing but in a different package? And speaking of family, Jason's basically old enough to be Sasha's dad or uncle at this point. I mean, are we sure he's not just a well-aged family heirloom? On the other hand, Cody might still have Drew by the short hairs. The guy's clearly losing it because he didn't listen to Tracy when she warned him about how to handle that hush money. Spoiler, he blew it all in one gambling binge. But hey, it's not like he's completely out of tricks up his sleeve, right? There's still something left in the tank. Am I missing something here? Because when Drew said Cody had nothing else on him at the restaurant, I think that was a little off. Newsflash, no one knows about his night with Nina. And let's not forget that little tidbit could totally ruin his whole relationship with Willow. Like, do we really think Cody hasn't realized the potential goldmine he's sitting on? My bet is he's too busy losing his mind to think about it, but hopefully he does, and then demands $250,000. Let's see if that lights a fire under him. Wait, what if Ava decides to blackmail Drew instead? I mean, she's pretty much broke, so maybe she'll start playing the game too. Drew could pay her legal fees, set her up in some posh penthouse, and do whatever else it takes to keep her quiet. It's not like that wouldn't complicate things with Nina, though, unless they decide to make a power play together. That would be interesting. Also, let's not forget Tracy's secret weapon, the PI's recordings. She could totally use them to keep Drew away from Willow, or at the very least, cause some serious tension between Willow and Nina, if she's playing it smart anyway. And Curtis, oh Curtis, he could totally use Aurora's media connections to push some stories about how Drew is allegedly using the Esplanade for blackmail. The very thing that helped him get elected. Talk about poetic justice. Honestly, it's weird that Drew is getting away with so much when so many people are sitting on the ammo to take him down. Like, is everyone just waiting for the other shoe to drop? The writers have got to be setting up something bigger, right? Right now, General Hospital is pretty much the lifeline keeping my sanity intact. As someone who's practically addicted to the news, I'm going through some serious withdrawal, so I figured I'd dive back into GH where I left off last summer. Even though I stopped watching, I've been faithfully recording every episode, so I'm staying far away from Reddit to avoid spoilers, though I do know Lulu made it out alive. Big surprise there. Sure, I could watch a ton of other stuff, but there's something about having GH on in the background that's like the comfort food I didn't know I needed right now. And as someone who's loyal to Young and the Restless, Y and R, I have to say GH sets are next level. They put Y and R to shame. Honestly, GH is like my escape to an alternate universe. I'm juggling between watching episodes on Hulu, catching reruns live on the Roku channel, and squeezing in some classic Keeping Up appearances from the 90s for a little British sitcom therapy. What storylines are you frustrated with other than the whole Drew and Willow thing? Oh, where do I even start? Let's talk about Cody. Honestly, I think the guy needs a therapist. Like yesterday, they've totally butchered his character. He was great as Sasha's knight in shining armor, and now, out of nowhere, we find out he's her cousin. Really? I'm sorry, but that's just lazy writing. They totally ruined him with that twist. Then there's the whole GO-BLQ or Dante mess. I can't even begin with that one. Suddenly, Brooklyn gets tacked onto a storyline that was clearly set up years ago, and oh, by the way, Cody was involved, but didn't bother to tell Dante. Sure, Cody. Because that's believable, right? The guy who can barely keep his own secrets, suddenly keeping one of this magnitude with absolutely zero motive. Yeah, okay. And don't even get me started on Rocco's I think my prayers killed Sam crisis. That was such a missed opportunity to dive into a real crisis of faith. Imagine him spiraling into some self-destructive behavior. Instead, we just get a weak moment and move on. Why bother casting all these teen boys if you're not going to give them anything to do? Cody's turn from decent guy to idiot who makes zero sense is just icing on the cake. And speaking of icing, can we talk about Lulu? Oh, and the complete lack of follow-up on Kate's and Austin? Trina's storyline is a mess too, but the cherry on top is Cyrus is an angel of death. Seriously, that was so obvious, and it's just dragging on. We've known Cyrus is a bad guy since, well, forever. There's no twist, no thrill, just tired, boring writing. The audience is way ahead of the characters, and honestly, it's not fun anymore. And now, on to Carly and Brennan. I mean, I do love Carly and think their dynamic is fun, but we're stuck with Sunny and Natalia. What a joke! Why on earth would Sunny trust her? If he wanted someone discreet to join him in lay, why not Alexis? She's practically family at this point, and at least she'd actually be helpful. Instead, we're just stuck with, well, whatever Natalia is supposed to be. Trina just needs to go. Seriously, the character is so painfully dull, and the best the writers can come up with are storylines about school projects and football. Yawn. I've tried, really, I have, to care about her, but the girl is so uninvolved in anything meaningful. Running entire episodes around her? Why? She's basically just a sounding board for Joss. She works with Ava, and her mom is at the hospital. That's her entire world. Not exactly compelling TV. I honestly think the actress could do a lot more with a decent storyline, but they keep dragging her into these school-related messes with Kai. Before I'm supposed to get invested in a potential romance, how about giving me a reason to care about the characters? She was never a good match for Spencer. Honestly, that kid could have acted circles around most of the cast, and now they've stuck her with this mess. I know I'll probably get dragged for this, but really, who's on the edge of their seat over Trina? Same goes for Gio and Emma, by the way. She's not my favorite, but I see some potential there. Has she ever had a storyline that grabbed me? Not really, but that's more of a writing issue than anything else. With GH struggling to provide diverse, young adult characters, Trina's not on my kill her off list. What we need is solid writing, not another school drama. Here's the hot take. Sprina worked because Spencer had an incredible actor behind him. Someone so talented that it was clear he was destined for bigger things, and, surprise, he's going on to do exactly that. Trina's actress, meanwhile, just needed to be good enough. And that's why Trina's never been anything memorable without the Spencer dynamic. Now, before anyone says, oh, they don't give her anything to do, well, they've tried. They've tested her with Gio, and let's not forget, Kay's entire existence is to give Trina something to work with. So, in short, I've never found Trina all that compelling. Honestly, you could have paired that other actor with anyone, and the chemistry would have worked better than with her. Maybe it's time to bring Esm back. At least, she's got the kind of rivalry that could make Trina seem interesting by comparison. The Sunny and Ava custody battle. What a mess. What do I think? Well, I'm absolutely thrilled about it. Not. Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be mad if Avery ended up with Dante, Carly, or even Jason. Anyone but these two. It's exhausting. And don't even get me started on Rick and Ava constantly bringing up Christina losing the baby. Like really? No matter how you feel about Christina, it's a traumatic experience. Repeatedly rubbing her face in it, that's just cruel. Pure, unfiltered cruelty. As for Rick, I can't believe anyone actually likes him. He's not doing this out of any moral high ground. He's helping Ava just to get back at Sunny. He didn't even know Ava before Naya introduced them. Talk about self-serving. And seriously, who's dressing Lulu? Are we stuck in some weird fashion time warp? Turtlenecks and pants that look like a mix between slacks and sweatpants. It's like someone's really committed to making her look like an over-caffeinated accountant. But here's the kicker. Michael may have done it out of revenge, but let's be real, he was a better guardian for Avery than either Sunny or Ava could ever hope to be. They need to just do shared custody, call it a day, and let the courtroom drama happen. Honestly, the only thing worth watching will be Diane and Rick going at it in court. That's gonna be something. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.